All right, so here we are at the information disclosure at the Web Security Academy. And so let's take a look at these. Let's see, here's the first one in error messages. So we load up the lab. All right, it's got verbose error messages that reveal it's using a vulnerable version of a third-party framework. And you have to submit the version number of this framework. This one was really easy. The only thing that's a little unusual is you turn in the answer. Usually you win these by becoming administrator or something. But this one, you submit the solution up here when you find it. And the first thing I tried worked. I didn't read the hints on this one, but the first thing I tried, see, here's the home domain, webacademy.net. Then I go to view details on one of these things, and I see a product ID, so I just put an apostrophe here, like to create a SQL injection, because that should create some kind of error message. And that turned out to be enough. That creates an error message. And down here is the vulnerable version of the software, which is a famous vulnerability, an Apache Struts vulnerability. So that one is very easy. And so if you go back here, you can put in the solution up here, Apache Struts, that version, and then you win. So that's easy. And these are all like these. The information disclosure stuff are like that. So the next one, okay, on the debug page. So this one, I had to look at the hint for this one. It contains a debug page. Okay, but how do you find the debug page? So I went here. Okay, and I tried the robots page to see if it would be there. Robots.txt. That's where you got to spell robots correctly, though. Robots.txt. But there's nothing there, not found. So that's no good. So then I tried going here and see if I can find some clue. I tried making an error and see if that would open up a debug page on an error again. But all I get is invalid product ID. So the address, oh, thank you. The address bar is not visible. Let me move that down. All right. So I'm just putting an apostrophe after the product ID. That's what I've been doing. There's a product ID, and I put an apostrophe there to create an error. Good. Anyway, the point is none of that worked, so I had to actually go check their hints, and the hints made it clear all you have to do is go to the home page and view the source code. Now, they used a Burp Pro feature, which I don't have. But you can just see it. If you go to the page source, then there's a comment that tells you where to go. So that seems kind of artificial. But see, down here is the location of the debug page. So that's a little silly. There's a CGI bin PHP info page, which is a default PHP page. So, you know, this one here is kind of silly. So you go there, and the secret flag is on this page. I don't want to do view source. There. This is a typical PHP info, and there's a password or secret key or something on this page. So that's that one was easy enough if you read the hints, and pretty hard to find otherwise. This one here, there's a backup directory, and you have to go in there, and you'll find a password in the source code, and again, you have to figure out where the backup page is. And this time, you can find it in the robots.txt, which is something you should always check. So, /robots.txt. And here it tells you disallow /backup. So there is a backup directory. Now, I thought I might have a trouble with the file name, but it turns out they allowed you to enumerate file names in that directory, so that's pretty sleazy. If you go in there, right there it is, so you can load this backup page, and there's a password on this page. You go, this is the kind of stuff people do to connect to a database, a PostgreSQL database, and this looks like the password right there. Looks like the username is Postgres, and that's the password. So, you know, these are pretty simple. Information disclosure. where there is just a page you can find that includes secrets. Now, by the way, a very common one, which they haven't included here, is that they put secrets in their GitHub page. And in fact, I've had people, what's even more fun is to learn how to write scripts in Git to get the old commits to the GitHub page, which is even more common, that there was an old commit with a secret in it, and then they made a new commit to remove the secret, but they didn't realize that you can search all the old versions of Git. So that's even more fun, but that's not included in the Web Security Academy. So anyway, as you see, this is, however, quite common that people leave passwords lying around. One of the big vulnerabilities that happened just in the last few weeks, somebody just left a file like passwords.xls like on an open share. I forget which one it was. One of the really major vulnerabilities, maybe it was the $600 million crypto hack, one of the big ones in the last couple of months, somebody just left like a Microsoft Office shared document with passwords in it. This does happen pretty often. Happened to CCDC too one time. The cyber competition. They left the administrator password in the bash history, so everybody found it right away. It's easy to make a mistake and leave your password just lying around somewhere. It happens pretty often. Anyway, that's it for those demos.